Mike, we'll get started. If anybody's out in the back who wants to come in, I'll give you a few seconds to get in here. I'm Greg Mullaney. I'm an attorney. I practice in Centerville and Ottumwa primarily. I also do some mediations and am the Athens County Magistrate. A little bit about who I am. This is Erin Hines. She's the court reporter. She will take down everything that is said tonight, and then that will be forwarded on to the FAA. I have kind of some notes of what I want to get through. I'll basically read them to you because I want to make sure I hit all of the high points, and then we'll get started with the comments. This hearing is a requirement of the FAA and is part of the South Central Regional Airport Agency's development of an airport. If you're here for the poetry reading, you're in the wrong auditorium. I assume you're all here for these comments. As most of you are aware, the South Central Regional Airport Agency was formed by a 28E agreement between Mahaska County, the city of Oskaloosa, and the city of Pella to develop and build an airport supporting the Southeast Iowa region. As a part of this process, the FAA required an environmental assessment for the proposed airport location. The draft environmental assessment, or EA as it's called, has been available now for several weeks for public review. As a part of this public review, we are conducting a hearing for comments from you, the public. I have a few ground rules. Understand I'm simply the moderator. I have no stake in this matter. I won't participate in any decision making, and I'm not here to answer questions or submit questions. This isn't a question and answer session. You'll be allowed to make a comment on your position, and those comments will be submitted to the FAA. We have right now 11 people signed up to speak. We will give you the opportunity, if after you've heard people comment, if you want to sign up to make comments. After that, we'll give you one more opportunity to sign up. Everybody's going to have one opportunity to speak. So far, the 11 people that are signed up will walk you through those. You're going to be limited to 3 minutes for your remarks. I'm going to ask that when you come up to the microphone, you state your name and then spell it for the record so the court reporter can get it down. She's going to try to take everything down that you say. So if you have it like I do, speak a little fast, just kind of slow down so she can make sure she gets it all taken accurately. Also, remember, if you have other comments or if comments come up, you have thoughts that come up during this hearing, so to speak, you can submit those in writing. I'll read the notice and it tells you where you can submit those writings to. I'm going to ask everybody to be respectful. I don't anticipate any problems there. We don't want outbursts or public comment other than from the persons who are giving the public comment at the microphones. Once we're done with this hearing, Aaron's going to prepare a transcript of the testimony. All those comments from the public hearing and the transcript will be submitted to the FAA. Then a detailed response to those issues, basically there'll be a summary of those issues, and then the detailed response will be prepared, and that'll be attached to the environmental assessment document. Upon review of the environmental assessment document, that's with the public comments, then the FAA will make a determination. They'll make one of two findings. One will be a finding of no significant impact, which I think they call a FONSI, F-O-N-S-I. And if they do that, then that means there'll be no, they'll determine basically with the FONSI that there is no significant impact. Or they may find that there is an impact, and they'll issue an EIS, which is an environmental impact statement. And they'll say that that's needed because the proposed actions have significant impact. Now I'm required to read the notice of hearing for the record, and after that I'll start calling people's numbers. Notice of public hearings for proposed improvements of South Central Regional Airport, Mahaska County, Iowa. The South Central Airport Agency, SCRAA, intends to undertake the following proposed actions at the proposed South Central Regional Airport. Acquire 582 acres of land and fee title. Disconnect County Road 220th Street. Construct primary runway, that's runway 14/32, paved concrete, 100 feet in width and 6,700 feet in length. Equip the primary runway with high-intensity threshold and edge lights, visual glide slope indicator lights, and lighted wind indicators. Construct a full parallel taxiway 35 feet in width to serve the primary runway. Install taxiway edge lights and airfield guidance signage. Construct terminal apron to accommodate 18 airplanes. Construct vehicle access from Highway 163 via 220th Street to the terminal building and aircraft hangars. Construct terminal building. Construct fixed base operator, FBO maintenance facility. Construct aircraft storage facilities for 52 aircraft. Install above-ground fuel storage tanks and dispensing equipment. Provide water, sanitary sewer, electrical, and communication services. Install airport rotating beacon light and automated weather observing systems, such as AWOS. Remove trees and other obstructions. Install perimeter and security fencing. Plant trees and shrubs to screen terminal area development and adjacent property that is potentially eligible for listing on the National Register of Historic Places, the NRHP. Rough grade crosswind runway, that'd be runway 10/28, 120 feet in width and 4,380 feet in length. Paving and lighting the crosswind runway is anticipated in 10+ years. Develop new instrument approach procedures to runway 14 and 32. Install approach light system on runway 32. Close the existing Pella Municipal Airport. Dispose of airport assets and convert the existing site to non-aeronautical uses. Close the existing Oskaloosa Municipal Airport. Dispose of airport assets and convert the existing site to non-aeronautical uses. We are providing a notice of public hearing where we address the proposed actions, potential economic, social, and environmental impacts. In addition, we will address the project's consistency with the goals and objectives of the affected area's land use or planning strategy. Second page. Potential effects of environmental resources include prime farmland, wetlands, waters of the U.S., historic properties. And an adverse effect to a historic property is being mitigated through a project programmatic agreement, or PPA, for Section 106 of the National Historic Preservation Act. That's the NHPA. The public hearing will be held at the following time and place: November 22nd, 2016 at 6 p.m. The Oskaloosa High School, George Daly Auditorium, 1816 North 3rd Street, Oskaloosa, Iowa. The draft environmental assessment, EA, describing the proposed actions and impacts will be available for public review. The draft EA may be reviewed at the Pella Public Library, 603 Main Street, Pella, Iowa, Oskaloosa Public Library, 301 South Market Street, Oskaloosa, Iowa, Pella City Hall, 825 Broadway Street, Pella, Iowa, Oskaloosa City Hall, 220 South Market Street, Oskaloosa, Iowa, Haskell County Courthouse, 106 South 1st Street, Oskaloosa, Iowa, SCRAA website, that's www.scraaiowa.com, City of Pella website, www.cityofpella.com, or the City of Oskaloosa website, www.oskaloosaiowa.org. Those wishing to submit written comments must do so to the South Central Regional Airport Agency, 825 Broadway, Pella, Iowa, 50219, or Scott Tenner, Federal Aviation Administration, Room 364, Kansas City, Missouri, 64106. With the comment letter postmarked no later than November 29, 2016. Those wishing to submit comments electronically may do so via the South Central Regional Airport Agency website, www.scraaiowa.com. on before November 29th, 2016. Before including your address, phone number, email address, or other personal identifying information in your comment, be advised that your entire comment, including your personal identifying information, may be made publicly available at any time. While you can ask us in your comment to withhold from public review your personal identifying information, we cannot guarantee that we will be able to do so. That is the end of the public notice. Those two addresses, and those notices are all over, you can find them, are where you can submit your written comments if you have any after the meeting tonight. I will start. Everybody who wants to comment has 3 minutes to do so. I've got a timer up here. I don't know what happens when it hits 3 minutes, but I'll try to give you an idea that you're close to there as you're commenting. We've got 2 microphones. Oh, we got more numbers. All right. Okay. We have 2 sets of microphones. Whichever one's closest, walk up to. We'll start with number 1. Whoever has card number 1, please come forward. Please state your name and spell your last name.
My name is Beth Danowski, spelled D-A-N-O-W-S-K-Y. I work at Musco and appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight to share perspective and support of the project on behalf of our team. I'm going to read a prepared statement, and we will also provide that for you in writing. The airport project provided for business air travel is supported by Musco because the Musco team works to support community. The team supports the airport because Oskaloosa, Howell, and rural areas around the communities need an airport. For the community, both city and rural, the issues are jobs, taxes, and agriculture. Number 1, jobs. The U.S. Census shows Pulaski County has a population of 22,400 with 12,000 residents in the labor force. Manufacturing is the largest employer providing jobs for 24% of all workers. Agriculture is the smallest employment sector. Oskaloosa and Pueblo rank number 2 and number 4 in the state as having the highest percentage of workers employed in manufacturing. Over the last year, Musco flew a total of 834 passenger hours on our planes, taking team members to meet customers or bringing customers into the community. It takes about 5 times longer to fly commercially when you consider drive time, check-in, layovers, and stayovers. For my basket, using our plane versus flying commercially means 3,328 passenger hours saved. That's the equivalent of 493 work days, 83 work weeks, and almost 2 years of work time saved. The second factor are trips that we couldn't make and missed opportunities due to time constraints when trying to fly commercially. A third factor is the value of being able to accommodate visitor schedules, resulting in 81 guests who otherwise would not have been able to visit our facilities in Iowa over the past year. These visits are multi-million-dollar business issues that form a foundation for multi-year business projects. In short, our interaction with customers is not possible without planning. Our interaction with customers is the foundation of our business. Aviation will be a growing need for existing and prospective industries in our area going forward. If we want to maintain our position as a leader in manufacturing, we need to invest in facilities businesses need to succeed. Number 2, taxes. Aviation fuel tax revenue is used to fund airport capital costs. A shared airport will use fewer tax dollars than are currently being spent on 2 existing airports. A reduction in land use for airports from 729 to 583 acres will put 146 acres back into production. Businesses that use the airport and invest in commercial buildings to operate those companies pay $3,814 in taxes for 100,000 market value property. Agricultural land valued at $100,000 pay $2,716, and a business employee living in an average house. All right.
Also, maybe that ask you, I didn't ask you for your address, but anyone can you just state your address for the record as well?
Yes. 100 First Avenue, Oskaloosa.
Thank you. We'll have number 2 next. name?
Jack Rempe, Lighton, Iowa.
Mr. Rempe,
Yes.
your address?
2274 Dean Avenue.
And the spelling of the last name?
REMPE.
Thank you.
I'd like to address this to the SCRAA board. Two of the board members, you were chosen from a larger entity to do a job which required you to try to convince the public that a regional airport would be a great asset to Pella and Oskaloosa. During this time, you quietly have had the 2080 agreement passed without the landowners even knowing of this. You tried many times to construct an airport with the public overwhelmingly letting you know that they are against it. But yet you decide to take the job on to do the dirty work of corporations, plowing ahead to get what they want at any cost to landowners and the taxpayers of the two cities. I have sat through many meetings as these citizens gave speeches of how this affects their livelihood, the tax burden on everyone, the unnecessary need for such an airport. Yet all you sat there, heads down, pretending to be writing something down. No questions were allowed to be answered. Did any of you ever say or think once, maybe we shouldn't do this to these people? Free. That's what you said about this airport. It's free. Get the money from the government. Sure, you can get the funding for the construction, but then what? Jobs? Well, maybe a few employees. Nothing more than what's being employed at the existing airports. A few corporate jets may use this, and then maybe a few hobby airplane enthusiasts. What then? Who pays to keep this airport going? Well, the residents of Pella and Oskaloosa, of course. Oh, by the way, the ones that couldn't vote on this. Why not? Well, right now, farming of these acres employs hundreds. From the bank, seed company, fertilizer, fuel, tile, dozer, labor, machinery, you name it, grain companies, on and on. But yet tell me converting these highly productive acres with cement will bring more jobs in Mahaska County. We already know that you have a no-care attitude about the families that it will affect. Century Farms, a heritage farm, that it will destroy. They have all stated their cases with you over and over, no human reaction at all. What I am saying now is to take the small amount of loss that you will have, repair the two communities' faith in each other. This airport is a fail for them and will never be what you've sold it to be, ever. Stop it now and do the right thing. This is a good wake-up call.
Time is up, sir. Perfect time.
Thanks.
Number 3.
My name is David Kreutzfeldt. The last name is spelled Krutzfeldt. And my address is 2415 McMullen Drive in Oskaloosa. And I speak from the perspective of my position as mayor of Oskaloosa. First of all, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak this evening. Back in 2012, the Oskaloosa City Council, Pella City Council, and the Mahaska County Supervisors all came to unanimous agreement that it was in our best interest to take action on the construction of a new airport. The reasoning was varied among members, but with the Oskaloosa airport being profitable, but there wasn't as much flight traffic as we would like. We were hearing comments like it's a farm that, by the way, can function as an airport. The Pella City Council showed that their airport, however, was quite busy, but they couldn't expand it the way they would like. They had some developmental concerns, but they were primarily safety. So it made sense to us to share our resources to create a single airport that better served our mutual interests. Closing 2 individual city airports for the benefit of sharing one is a win-win for the communities, in addition to helping the FAA in the sense that it would be supporting one less airport that would be safer and more efficient. The Mahaska County Supervisors recognized at the time this would be a long-term economic benefit to the region. because the economic viability of a county is quite dependent on the economic viability of the cities, both within and around it. So I think we can agree that the economic sustainability of a region requires a blend of services to be available for both citizens and businesses. Good highways and airports are part of that. Shortly after the creation of the 2080 agreement, the majority of the Oskaloosa City Council members and mayor were up for re-election. The opposing candidates held up opposition to the airport as their primary campaign issue, and the incumbents defended their position. After the vote was taken, all of the incumbents were re-elected by margins of 57% to 43% or better. And so Oskaloosa continues to support the development of the airport. Big projects like this, though, aren't without controversy and adversity, and that's the way our democracy works. So I'd like to compliment the members of the SCRAA. They have paid attention to details, kept everything legal, and been faithful in keeping the project progressing. From time to time, they've been on the receiving end of criticism when all they're doing is their appointed job. So to conclude, as I look around the room, there's a lot of us here that have some gray hair like I do, and maybe not even be around 30 years from now. However, the people younger than us in this region will be around. And I believe if they look back to this time, they will thank us for the long-term vision we had in getting this airport built. Thank you again for the privilege.
Number 4.
My name is John DeRoy, address 1883 220th Street. And I'll begin with, I'm one of the landowners, a part of the proposed regional airport, of which I am opposed. This all began with the study, Airport Necessity, which ended up in a 2080 agreement approved by the majority vote of the Mahaska County Board of Supervisors. Previously, this was voted down on a public vote by Mahaska County and failed by a 70% plus majority. I am not opposed to the use of the 2080 agreement if used for the right reasons. I believe that the proposed regional airport is not a necessity, but a want by a few and not a need. The proposed area for the regional airport has one heritage farm and 2 century farms, 160 years, 140 years, and 118 years respectively, which means a lot to its owners. The heritage farm also includes the Prime Cemetery that is still active and is designated as the Pioneer Cemetery, which makes it historic. The end result is possibility of taking prime land, farmland, never to grow crops again, from its owners against their will, by the use of possible eminent domain, mainly the private use rather than public use, which I and others vigorously oppose. There's one remark I want to make with that 220th Street passes by my property. It's heavily traveled, shortcut between 163 and 63. And I see that's a real problem for the county. My end remark is that in all of the above, I believe in truth, honesty, and trustworthiness. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Number 5.
Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity to speak. My name is James Mueller, M-U-E-L-L-E-R, and I am the mayor of the city of Pella.
We can have your address, Mr. Mueller.
Certainly. It is 1008 East 2nd Street in Pella. When I first ran for city council over 13 years ago, one of the first things I became involved with was the potential relocation of our municipal airport. I served on a committee to review the need of a new airport and the potential for upgrading our existing facility. I entered this committee with an open mind but questioning the need for the upgrade. After many meetings, discussions, conversations with representatives from the FAA and our community business leaders, it became very clear to me that this upgrade was necessary and not simply just a want. One of the primary responsibilities of an effective and responsible government is to provide safe and efficient infrastructure for the benefit of our community. Whether it is a highway, a water plant, or in this case, an airport, it is our duty to all of our citizens to address those needs. A redesigned airport will provide the entire area with safe, convenient, and efficient municipal facility. The key issue with our current airport is the high number of Category C flights and the lack of installed infrastructure to support them. Even though the current airport has a temporary authorization to land Category C aircraft, it could be revoked at any time, leaving us with no ability to support our current users. A new regional airport will provide our local businesses with permanent, safe access to efficient air travel. It will also position this region as a forward-looking, business-friendly area. It will allow our industries to compete with other companies for customers nationwide. Finally, it will provide a critical municipal service for many years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Number 6.
Hello, my name is Mark Dolan. My address is 1802 Burlington Road in Oskaloosa. I forgot what else you needed.
Good enough.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm here to rise in opposition of the project. I'm speaking in my capacity as a Mahaska County Board of Supervisor. There's been many elections that have taken place since this 2080 agreement has gone into effect, which was passed unanimously. Shortly after my election, I had brought up for a resolution, a vote to remove eminent domain from the 2080 agreement, which passed the Mahaska County Board of Supervisors 3-0 unanimously. It was determined by the City of Oskaloosa and the City of Pella to leave eminent domain in. The project is a win-win for Pella. I think that they have the need for an airport. But they got, I think that current existing air travel in Mahaska County is functional and is successful for everybody who is here and supports our businesses. Truth, when proposed in the light of day, always wins. I have debated this project over and over with people, and overwhelmingly they support my position. I think the only way to really find out if a project is worth its weight is to put it to the vote of the people. The only vote that is on record is one that happened many years ago in the City of Oskaloosa, which was overwhelmingly supports my position as well. But also we have a vote of representative government. I was voted by many people. I represent over 22,000 people in Mahaska County, and the board is turned over, and I would be highly suspect if the current board or oncoming board supports this project. That's why I plan to, as a representative of these people, bring a resolution forward asking for Mahaska County to withdraw from the 2080 agreement. The City of Oskaloosa and the City of Pella also would have to ratify and vote to allow that to happen. This will be forthcoming in future meetings with the Board of Supervisors. Thank you.
Number 7. And you may not have your card, number 7, but you know who you are? All right.
Hello, my name is David Batman. That's B-A-T-M-A-N. I'm our communities are well served by several airports presently. This project, in my opinion, is what is commonly known as a boondoggle. I would urge that the FAA use their resources where they are needed and wanted, and not here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Number 8.
Hello, my name is Stephen Teese from Oskaloosa, Iowa here, 1003 North 2nd Street. And I have a few questions which I know you won't answer. Who are the planned users of the 8 hangars on the plan? And how many jobs are going to be created by the airport, at the airport? How much dirt needs to be moved in order to do the fill and cuts and so on to create the airport? And where's the dirt coming from, and how much runoff is going to be a problem with the surrounding landscape around there? It would appear to me that the lack of planning on the Palace part and not allowing for land to expand their airport, just because they don't have a comprehensive plan, doesn't seem like that lack of planning should create a problem on my part to fund their airport needs. I see the city of Des Moines International Airport as a regional airport facility, and a place like Chicago as a national airport was a larger facility. So Des Moines is a regional airport. And I think of the term regional as being a large geographical area, I would say, in comparison to the U.S. congressional districts in Iowa. So one airport per region should probably be sufficient. One might think this overall project might be an example of what's called inappropriate use of technology. And the proposal, as stated in the document that's made available to us, states that so many acres of land will be made available for other purposes. There's no specific allowance made there that land would be returned to agriculture. In fact, it specifically states that the city of Pella plans on turning that land over into a residential facility, which means it'll never go back to agriculture. The time stated in the form about how far it is to go to an airport, a regional airport like Des Moines, Pella, or no, Des Moines, Newton, or Ottumwa, roughly an hour's travel time by vehicle. I don't see that as being inconvenient. I travel that far or longer to get to an airport. Plus, as the first speaker spoke about, if I travel commercial, I stand in line and I wait before I even get on the plane. I don't feel like the people of this state and this city should be expending lots of tax dollars directly on the local 10% match, plus the 90% match comes from the feds for the convenience of, is it 8 people?
Thank you, sir. Number 9.
Once again, good evening to you. My name is Jimmy Carter, C-A-R-T-E-R, 316 East Glendale Road. I'm one of them unfortunate ones that got voted off a few years ago, sitting on the city council when all this was taking place. But that was after the vote, where it's been said numerous times, that was overwhelmingly voted down. What really troubles me tonight, amongst one thing, I had a list of them, but 3 minutes to state your opinion on approximately a $50 or $60 million job project with 11 people. That's 33 minutes you're going to spend on listening to us. If everyone in this room was going to be talking, I could see that. And I know you've set up the guidelines, and I'm not here to. I'm just frustrated, I guess, at 33 minutes spending on this. What I think this is a Pella problem, not an Oskaloosa problem. We've got 620 acres. We could add a few thousand feet, 1,500 feet to our airport at a very low cost Farmers at the end of the airport have stated that they would sell the land and we could lengthen our airport and solve any problems we might have with our air traffic. If Prelo's got a problem, I feel that they need to step up the plate, fix it, buy the houses at the end of their airport, and move on. It's not an Oskaloosa or Mahaska County situation. I've stated that. I haven't changed my opinion on it, and I don't feel it's the best for our community, for our county, in the now or in the present future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Number 10.
Good evening, Mr. Mullaney. My name is Gary Dickey, and I am appearing on behalf of 6 landowners that are affected under the proposed Site A. My address is 301 East Walnut in Des Moines, Iowa, and I'm an attorney for Dickey and Campbell Law Firm. The environmental assessment that is the subject of this hearing is deficient in at least 4 ways, and many more, but I'll address 4 in the 3 minutes. First, Order 5050.4b specifically directs the preparers of the environmental assessment to, quote, coordinate with resource agencies, industry groups, and the affected community as practicable and necessary to ensure the assessment addresses those issues of greatest public concern. The preparers of this assessment have not done that. We would invite the preparers to come out, have a face-to-face meeting with the affected landowners, certainly open up a dialogue of more than 3 minutes for these important public issues. The public meetings that the South Central Regional Airport Authority has are perfunctory, they're one-sided. The minutes that are prepared are skeletal and do not provide the public with the transparency necessary to have a meaningful public dialogue on this important issue. Second, that same order also directs that the preparers take into account the environmental, social, and economic and technical factors of the proposed action and the reasonable alternatives. The 442-page environmental assessment is noticeably deficient in any type of meaningful economic cost-benefit analysis. So we've heard individuals tonight talk about the importance to the community. It's a minimum estimated construction of $30 million, not to mention the ongoing expenditures associated. There is nothing in this assessment nor anything on the South Central Regional Airport Authority's website that identifies how there would be benefits to the taxpayers in excess of the cost of construction and ongoing costs associated. Third, the assessment vastly undervalues the environmental and social impact on the farmland that would be used, which would be 560 acres of prime farmland. To illustrate this, on April 17th of 2015, the USDA sent a letter to Gerald Searle, strongly advocating locating any proposed airport to areas that are largely not prime farmland. The area of the proposed airport is unfortunately largely prime farmland and should be avoided in favor of other areas with little prime farmland and mostly not prime farmland, unquote. These are century farms, some of them as much as 150 years in the same family. And with the time remaining, the fourth deficiency is the failure to meaningfully address the Otley Airport alternative. As the FAA knows, because we've got the emails from Scott Tenner, if this project doesn't go forward, Pella will proceed with its own airport in Otley. And that is not addressed in this assessment because of limitations that the cities and municipalities have placed in the 28D agreement, which are wholly arbitrary. There's no reason why the Otley Airport could not serve the purposes identified in the Iowa DOT's 2010 airport study. Thank you.
Time is up, sir. Thank you. Number 11.
Mark Rigby, 1897 Harborville Drive, Iowa. First thing I want to talk about is closing 220th Street. I heard a lot of people talk about safety. My partners and I run our farm equipment back and forth across the county. And closing 220th Street is going to force us to take our stuff up and down 163, probably through Oskaloosa. And we don't want to be on 163 personally, but also wants us to be on 163. So we heard a lot about safety, but we're really throwing a lot of traffic. We've had a lot of bad accidents between semis and farm equipment going up and down 163. The other thing I want to talk about is putting an airport right beside a cemetery and a water tower. Makes no sense to me. We have setbacks to build hog buildings and everything else around cemeteries, and here we're going to put a runway right beside a cemetery. So I can't see how that makes any sense. And my last thing is the staunch here my family owns. And what's that house and building going to be worth with all these buildings back right up against it, 40 foot away from it? So it looks like a bad plan and a bad place, and hopefully it'll get turned down.
Thank you, sir. Don't believe we have a number 12, but we have a number 13.
Number 12.
Are you 12?
Yes, I am.
All right, come on up.
Yeah, thank you for not skipping over me.
State your name.
Yes, my name is Myron Lynn. I live in Pella. Last name is spelled L-I-N-N. Address 2059 Hickory Trail in Pella. And good evening, and I'm very pleased to be speaking on behalf of Pella Corporation this evening. And I want to thank the members of the authority for allowing us to speak in favor of the airport project. Pella Corporation considers the regional airport transportation to be an essential tool for operating our business and our manufacturing headquarters in rural Iowa. With the inefficient and many times unreliable commercial air transportation, we consider private air transportation as a critical part of our operation. And as you know, and as you've heard earlier, the Pella Corporation Airport is operating under a temporary authorization to depart and land Category C aircraft, while the FAA has strongly indicated that this is not a permanent solution and is not a permanent reclassification of the airport. At any time, the FAA could rescind the temporary authorization and cause a serious problem for one of the largest businesses and largest employers in these two communities. After several highly informed studies, it is clear that the current airport cannot be modified to achieve a Category C status in Pella. And with safety being the most important matter at hand, it is essential to move forward with this project. Just a couple of pieces of brief information. Pella Corporation employs over 7,000 people nationwide, many of them who use the airport to conduct their duties and their responsibilities of employment. Since 2007, Pella Corporation's aircraft has flown over 8,500 individual passengers to approximately 750,000 passenger air miles on its aircraft. And over 80% of these passenger air miles are non-executive travel. That means it's the kind of people who are actually working on day-to-day projects that are part of our aircraft usage. Employees in engineering, maintenance, marketing, information technology, production, and factory technicians are very common. And the plane averages hundreds of flights in and out of the airport each year. And equally and more importantly, perhaps, our customers who periodically travel to our manufacturing sites and headquarters in Pella travel by air. In many cases, the transportation is required for expanding our markets and our sales through efficient air transportation. And last year, multiple visits by customers resulted in significant sales, and that provided good-paying, high-value jobs in our local economy. And it is clearly essential that we are able to continue to welcome customers to our area through safe local air transportation. So Pella Corporation strongly supports the regional airport project as a way to consolidate federal tax dollars by combining two airports into one efficient airport. And furthermore, is an excellent tool. Done?
You're done.
I'm sorry, sir. Thank you very much. And thank you to the committee.
Now's the opportunity, if you haven't had the opportunity to speak, you can sign up. Does anybody in here that didn't get to speak before want to speak? Yes. Why don't you come down here, sir?
Good evening, my name is Tom Blasio, I'm the mayor of Ottumwa, Lazio. I have a letter I'll submit as a formal written document. However, I would like to, on behalf of the city of Ottumwa, register my opposition to the proposed changes or improvements being proposed by the South Central Regional Airport Committee. I think that environmental, financial, and social economic factors have already been enumerated tonight. I'm concerned that building another regional airport would endanger the viability of our regional airport. I can see no logical reason to develop another regional airport within 30 minutes of Ottumwa, Newton, or Des Moines. Our airport has the capacity to serve C-class jets without spending millions of dollars or condemning good farmland. I've heard up to 580 some acres. We already have regional airports in Des Moines, Newton, and Ottumwa that serves the region and the area. And in light of the new Highway 163, I think the convenience factor of 15 to 25 minutes is not justification for spending $25 to $35 million to build another facility. I also would raise the question of why this proposal has been pushed forward without any outreach to the other airports in the area. I can't see any public benefit to this. If there is some benefit I'm missing, I'd appreciate hearing more about it. We are in the process of reclaiming some additional runway feed at the airport, and certainly can land most jets that come into our community. I think the money would be better spent, and I'd like to know what the return on investment really is. Our local airport committee does not support this, and they joined me in signing the letter that I'll submit. Thank you very much.
Thank you. With that, I'd remind you that you can submit written comments. You have a few more days to do that. Take advice from the notice about when your deadline is and how to submit them, and that will close these proceedings. Thanks, everyone.